Every 48 years, a part of Northeast India experiences something so unique, so devastating, that it leaves its footprint for years to come. A cyclic phenomena that makes millions of rats swarm into their fields and destroy the crops, leading to severe famine. It is predictable, but unavoidable. Rats become a nuisance, eat anything that comes their way. Governments have been brought down, leaders have lost their powers, and in fact, the state of Mizoram came into existence solely because of this phenomenon. But it is much more than a phenomenon. A mix of politics, superstitions, science and agriculture make this phenomenon even more interesting. And it is called Mautam, the death of the bamboo. Mizoram shares land borders with the states of Tripura, Assam, Manipur, and with the neighboring countries of Bangladesh and the Chin state of Myanmar. Mizoram is one of the 7 sisters of India. With a population of only 1 million people, 95% of the Mizos follow Christianity, with one of the highest literacy rates in the country. Mizos are God-fearing, soft-spoken people, and they love their pork as much as they love their bamboo shoot.
The location of Mizoram is not that good. There is no other scope like industries, and nothing is there. So agriculture industry is the only way where we can survive as a state also. 70% of the total population of Mizoram is depending on agriculture activity, especially this jhum cultivation.
Jhum cultivation is a local name for slash and burn agriculture, practiced by the farmers in Northeast India. Jhuming is practiced on slopey hills outside reserve forests. This system involves clearing of a piece of land by setting fire or clear felling, and using the area for growing crops of agricultural importance such as rice or fruits. After a few cycles, the land loses fertility and a new area is chosen. But the land of Mizoram is so uniquely programmed that even after the slash and burn technique used by the local farmers, the bamboo plants spring up in no time.
For example, if that is bamboo melocana plot, for example, and people will use it for jhum. For jhum, they will cut everything, they will burn it to ashes, and they will have their cultivation maybe 2-3 years and leave it in the villages especially. So melocana is gone. But later on you will find that from the fallow, from the jhum fallow, the bamboos will sprout again. From the rhizomes, from the roots. As if they are newly planted.
The Ampho General Headquarters is established in 1994 at Aizawl, and now it spreads all over Mizoram. The main objectives of this organization is to stop jhum cultivation, where under the jhum cultivation practices, every year the farmers have to burn the jungle, cut down the trees and burn it. So it has a lot of harmful effects also by burning the jungle.
Mautam means the death of the bamboo. Death of the bamboo brings destruction, havoc, and famine. And not only that, the Mautam of 1959 was responsible for the birth of the state of Mizoram, which changed the face of politics in the northeast region of India. After the annexation by the British in the 1890s, Mizoram was administered as the Lushai Hills district of Assam. The colonial power introduced inner line regulation, restricting access to any outsiders. It was renamed as the District of Mizo Hills within Assam state in 1954.
In the beginning, when after the departure of the British in 1947, there was an idea among the Mizos, and before that, Mizoram was outside British India. It is called an excluded area, excluded from the Constitution or from the Act of 1935. In Mizoram, since 1946, political party was not permitted, being a special area outside the purview of the British India administration. So when British departed in 1947, and Mizos have to decide their final destiny, only 1 year old political party was there. In 1946, political party establishment was permitted only. And in 1947, 1 year, they have to decide the final destiny because British has to depart. So quite a lot of people there say that, let us join Pakistan. We are in the neighboring state, that is the Bangladesh, East Pakistan. And then somebody said, let us join Burma. Somebody said, let us join India. Somebody said, let us be under the crown colony of the British Empire. And somebody said, let us opt for an independence. There was that big tussle.
Mizoram was part of the neighboring Assam state when the Mautam hit in 1959. When the local leaders tried to persuade the Assam government to prevent the outbreak of Mautam, the Assam government ignored them by calling it a tribal superstition.
Mautam, the bamboo flowering, occurred in 1959. At that time, the people of Mizoram forewarned Assam government. At that time, Mizoram was under the Assam state. It's only one of the districts. And they forewarned them that, look here, there's going to be a bamboo flowering famine in 1959, 1960. There will be a lot of hardship. You have to be prepared beforehand. But the then government of Assam said that, oh, it's just a tribal superstition. Why should a bamboo be flowering at an interval of 50 years? And then famine in Mizoram. So they neglected. And as a result, there is a great, let us say, problem. And there is a big famine in Mizoram. And then the people of Mizo said that, look here, as long as we are in India, as long as we are under Assam, there is going to be a negligence of the condition of the Mizo people. The best is that let us get independence. And it is with this idea that the Mizo National Famine Front came into being. And later on, after 1 year or so, it turned into the Mizo National Front.
MNF's Pu Ladenga and other underground revolutionaries fought for the ways in which the Assam authorities handled the famine and left the people disillusioned. The region was subsequently declared Mizoram after the insurgency, receiving status as a union territory in 1972. It became a state of India in 1986 and was formalized in the following year. The people of Mizoram and the government now seemed prepared to face the new Mautam. Mizo National Front, the underground revolutionary party that was the reason behind the formation of the state of Mizoram, was in power to witness the new Mautam. This was their acid test.
Mizoram is a land of bamboo. In 1911, all Mizoram, about 70% land is covered by bamboo.
Bamboo is the tallest grass in the world and it has a capacity to grow very fast, and you would be surprised to know that bamboo grows 60 centimeters in a day, and it's a very phenomenal growth of this family, unparalleled in any other species observed in this world. So this is, you can see, this is a very new, fresh bamboo culm, and this is called the sheath of the bamboo, and after growing certain period, the sheath automatically drops down, and it's a natural phenomenon.
In case of grass, the life cycle is 1 year. After 1 year, it seeds and dies. But in case of bamboo, in some species, the life cycle is 20 years. In some species, the life cycle is more than 80 years. In India, we found more than 130 species belonging to 18 genera.
Bamboo rhizomes spread rapidly underground, like tentacles, sprouting shoots that mature into 30-foot jointed poles in just 2 to 3 months. A single grove can cover over 700 square miles and yield 10 miles of usable poles. Bamboo forests cover 12,54,000 hectares out of a total area of 21,090 square kilometers of the Mizoram state. The bamboo forest contributes to 14% of all India bamboo area of 8.96 million hectares. Which further constitutes 11.71% of the 74 million hectares of the forest area of India. The total bamboo yield of Mizoram alone is 32 lakh million tons per year.
Suppose if we cut a bamboo in one region, the bamboo will grow up again on that particular region within 1 year.
Bamboo plants are distributed throughout Mizoram, right from an altitude of 40 meters to 1,520 meters. A total of 23 species of bamboo have been identified in the forests of Mizoram. Bamboo is used in construction, architecture, engineering, handicrafts, food, and medicine. But well, as nature would have it, once every 48 years, this bamboo becomes a little more precious to the Mizos. The biggest bamboo species in Mizoram is Melocana bassiferus.
Melocana is everywhere. I don't know in what percentage it covers the forest of Mizoram.
Melocana bassiferus has a lifespan of 48 years, which means that after every 48 years, Melocana bassiferus flowers and produces a fruit. Once the Melocana bassiferus bamboo starts fruiting, it sends this mysterious signal to neighboring bamboo plants to flower and to fruit. Science has until now not been able to fully explain how the same message is passed among bamboo clumps separated by hundreds of kilometers to flower at the same time. Foremost authorities on bamboo and agriculture have speculated that the rhizomes of the bamboo have some kind of memory trait, like a ticking alarm clock that makes the plants grow in synchronization and then burst into bloom all at the same time. In just a few months' time, one can witness the bamboo plants all over Mizoram start to flower and die. Birth and death occur in unison. And it is the same reason that the abundance of Melocana bassiferus becomes a curse during Mautam. There have been 3 recorded Mautams in all. The Mautam in 1911, 1959, and 2007, with an unmistakable interval of 48 years between them.
In 1911 and 48 years we had at 59 and 59 to 48 2007, that is.
Interestingly, Thingtam is the flowering and dying of another bamboo species, Bambusa tulda, found in Mizoram. But because the species is not found in abundance, the destruction caused by Thingtam is very limited. Bambusa tulda also follows the 48-year life cycle and occurs 17 years after Mautam.
Mautam and Thingtam 48 years interval. Bamboo tulda must dying to 30 years. Okay. That is the Melocana. 18 years, 30 years interval.
In 1959, there was no advanced preparation or enough funds to fight the famine. And a certain unwillingness from the government increased the destruction in far underdeveloped areas of Mizoram. Unlike the earlier Mautam, 2007, fortunately, saw a lot of measures in place.
Mautam is Mizo language. Mau means bamboo. Ta means dying out of that bamboo. Actually, Mautam is not simply dying of the bamboo. It is flowering, fruiting, and dying of that bamboo species, especially Melocana bassiferus species and Dendrocalamus hamiltoni. These 2 bamboo species were giving flower, fruiting and dying off in a specific period. That is the interval between the previous Mautam and the last Mautam which we faced was almost 48 to 50 years interval.
So, what is this flowering, fruiting, and dying of bamboo after every 48 years? Does this 48-year life cycle mean the bamboo plant that is planted today would flower and fruit 48 years later? So, in that case, why is it unavoidable? To begin with, we can get rid of this flowering stage if we can cut the bamboo trees 6 months or a year before they flower.
The sporadic or gregarious flowering of bamboo is in the genes. They carry it from the stock, from the parent stock. So there is no fixed time like you grow it today and after 48 years it will flower. It's not like that. So since they come from the same stock all over Mizoram, the bamboos, Melakwana of Mizoram, since they come from the same parental stock, they behave in similar fashion. Whether they grow today or whether you plant them tomorrow or next year, they will still follow this 48-year pattern.
So it is this mysterious, gregarious flowering of the Malacana baciferus bamboo plant that is Mautam. There have been many reasons attributed to the Mautam famine, other than the scientific one. There are beliefs and superstitions associated with Mautam. Scattered reports of flowering and fruiting also coincide with the arrival of a certain insect called Hemipterous stink bug, locally known as thangnang, which are about the size of the kernel of a corn. They are fat and they are oily and are considered a sort of delicacy in these areas. And according to many farmers, the outbreak of thangnang is another clue or hint of Mautam. Not only this, but the farmers believe that the rare sighting of a comet is noticed 1 or 2 years before the Mautam. The Halley's Comet appeared in 1910, just before the Mautam of 1911. Similarly, the appearance of comet Marcos in 1957 preceded the Mautam of 1959.
Comet in the sky. Before 1 year or 2 years before a famine.
This has unseen, unheard effects on the people of Mizoram. The 3 recorded Mautams have seen similar and dissimilar repercussions. However, the most common has been a steady decline in the bamboo forests all over Mizoram.
The year after flowering, we seem to notice the greenery, has diminished. So, that's how we also make an observation.
Of course, I would like to point out one thing that the children, it caused some disease to some children in the southern part. Say around 40 children have died due to that Mautam disease. It brings some virus, some disease to that southern part.
On the contrary, some farmers even report that the land becomes more fertile for cultivating certain crops the year after Mautam, and their yields increase.
Avurkum mizochuan anti mayamo. Kuminanga kantuara ndakumai chuan avurkum kantia lopo thlomapo. Tin ngam hunne po khan tin sari hunte neya tin thum hunne po khan tin ngam hunte neya. อาจารย์จุบูทาราโลโลกอากุมเลขันจุบูในตานอดังลำนับประคัตเนียมารจุอาลูเตบัลลาเตเสร์ทุมเตนี่ขัดยังสอทิ้งเตขอันนี้จวงลูให้ฮิอมักกัตยา
There's no doubt that most of the farmers consider Mautam as a new beginning, which ironically brings famine and hardship.
Mizoram Mautam kan tipohi kum somngat ana alokal hi. Pathian remrot katimaya hi chu. Kan bul abul kan tran tha kan zawa abul kan tran thale angde khan pathian remrot na ning kasia. Mautam kan ti mo.
Once the Mautam arrives, it brings along something that devastates the entire region. From Mickey Mouse to the longest running play in the world, from the Pulitzer Prize-winning graphic novel that shook the world with its depiction of Holocaust horrors through cartoony renditions of the mouse, to the most loyal and eco-friendly vehicle ever to ferry its load, the humble mouse. Yet, the reality one knows is vastly different. In the comfort of the urban homes or the city high-rise, the rare appearance of the pest is an irritant. Mickey Mouse may not bring a smile to the fraternity of farmers in Mizoram, for whom the humble mouse represents vastly different realities. Rats. Rattus rattus, or the black rats, are the long-tailed rodents of the muroid family. Rats love to feed on this fruit. Bamboo seeds are eaten by rats. They're quite nutritious, and this results in the increase of the rodent population.
The rodents, they always look for food. Okay, they always look for food. So they are very fond of bamboo flowers, bamboo seed. So when it flowers, more rodents came out.
The rodents during the normal year, which do not receive any food supply, could get sufficient food supply during that period when there was a Mautam. So the rodents at that time, during the dry period, they started building their populations. Because these juveniles, what to say, the young rodents, after completion of 1.5 months, they can start breeding. Because there was a maturity of the sperms, they started breeding in the forest.
A nature's way of controlling profuse seeding, probably. But this natural check, evolved in nature, also throws the rat life cycle of birth out of order. The sudden and profuse availability of food increases the rat population multifold, which further increases the demand for rat food.
You know, when the bamboo flowers, and then it produces a lot of fruits, and then the funny thing is that the smaller the bamboo, the bigger the fruit. The bigger the bamboo, the smaller the fruit. This, which we call this muli bamboo, the small melocanas, the bamboo in Mizoram as big as this one, the smallest one, the fruit is almost as big as this. And the rats eat it and they like it very much. And they multiply it like hell.
Saju had a tall Kataron Pung Mai Natsanahi, Mautam, Alopara, Aparhi, and Keila, a Chunga Henin, Bufai and Deka, Aoma, Kaka Saju Henin, Antue, Maya, Kamika, and any anti in Tanakong Hanin, a chalut to Krut Maya. Kakan Saju Katole Katakanin at the Pung Mani.
Bamboo is fruiting in some places. In some places, in some villages, and increasing, steadily increasing rats. I had experience in one night, 2 or 3 farm land is eaten up in one night.
Some farmers have even reported that they have seen certain objects turning into rats during Mautam. While some of the farmers in Mizoram consider Mautam as a curse, for others, it's a religious occurrence.
Kakanin, Aran Puitling, Anhan Seka. So, Tin Gamuna, Purzani, don't contact like Han, Pursomatsu, Supportu, Gamani, and any Amin Taktak Main, Buha ala Kun Taktak Main, can lak one can chu vetani.
Such is the rate of multiplication of rats that a female rat can give up to 13 to 15 offsprings during Mautam. Their incubation period is a mere 21 days. Female black rats can even reproduce very soon after birth. Male rats are also known to eat their young ones when there's scarcity of food. But during Mautam, the death rate of baby rats goes down drastically, giving a further push to the population of rats.
Tin Tulma Mautam Makachuanin, Sazuhi, Ko Aqua Lea Aqua Seva, Aqua Pakata Khan, hey, but Nipatum, Patum Pali, Emolek Nuteneka, Mautam, Nukan, Kokata Remote Pokanin, Som Paruk Tigan Lai Shopteni, Sazuka. Tin Mun Pakat Peka to Tam Teka, Achuat Kasazun in Dabka, Bamboo. Oh. Ae ko hiao ko maya khatil tikhan umma.
Then the Mizo farmers started sowing their crops after clearing, slashing and burning of the forest in the June. They started sowing their crops like paddy and other vegetables in the June in the month of April onwards. Then for the rodents, another food supply was there in the June. So from forest, they migrate to the cultivated area. So they started infesting the cultivated crops.
As the black rats leave the forest to forage on grains and the crops stored by the farmers, they unleash mayhem. Rats can be seen everywhere. Once finished with the crops and stored food grains, they even turn to destroying other assets and objects owned by the farmers. Rats turn into enemies of men. So in a bizarre turn of the evolutionary table, the rodent becomes the predator, and man becomes the prey.
Tachuan Mawan Lotam Taka Khanin, Ngani Sazu, ข้าเราตำตาไม่อะกันบุไงนี่มินมาคานอะไรจันทีกันที่ไม่ยังให้ไงนี่บุอันบุตูร์บุเอรนเสียมดอนจันคานินสะจุขันเสวักไม่ยกุงค่ะจิบนสาจิชุมนสาเริมรุ่มไม่ยชัวตาเลี้ยขันหลับเพ่งพุ่งไม่ยค่ะกันเชียดผาตานีตาจวนบุยปุยกลิงให้ระปางไอกันลากค่ะเลมผาตา
The rat army terrorizes the local farmers to such an extent that they are scared to even enter their farms in the night.
มุนกัลpoint zana peichuani sasam hey archi ritrup kha ram tin mai khan thoma kha chona omvik mai ni kha kumdang omai lo re reng antinan thama ram nuai omtaila lowa khan missing kha zana riak taila ke mor henglai ke te kha ai thei saju khan ibu
I don't see anything wrong in the rodents going after the bamboo and people like us going after the bamboo. We have substitute for it. Because what I'm trying to say is Melocana has diminished. I mean, the number of available Melocana has gone. I do not blame the rats. I just blame nature, because it's nature that has made it flower and make it die. Okay, so I do not blame anyone.
As multitudes of rats clump into rat floods and eat away the stored grains, which represent months of manual toil and harvest, famine is unleashed on Mizoram. The lack of food grains and bamboo also forces thousands of farmers to consume rats, as they are in abundance.
In some parts of the village, those rodents who were trapped with the rat trap were dressed and eaten by the mouse. It was a cheap source of protein, so to say, for them.
Some farmers swear by the aphrodisiac quality of the protein-rich seeds and fruits of the bamboo, and based on these beliefs, even go on to test the same on other animals.
Maura, come on. Atra rantan voktan potha thova bong tan potha. Kha ara kha kan sat phela ai asaka. Ta chon bong hati khan kan chun mai thin ni. Kan chun ai thial anu te kha apun pha tlat maya. Etinan ni khata hianin litar somli le pangavel kan ei thina mo. Mei chinau nei thathei lo tan te tin nau pai mu mal thei lo tan te po. Tin hei angai ni an satin thi te po mai che chuan an nei thawa. Khatiang te po kha regular takin ahunta an nei thei pa de an tia an soya. Chu atakin kan hu ve lova mi sei ani maya.
However, one of the most bizarre measures taken by the government in 2007 was the rat tail program. In this program, each farmer was encouraged to kill the maximum number of rats. And a bounty payment of 2 rupees in exchange of a rat tail was awarded. In less than 1 year, over 1.4 million rat tails were collected in exchange of over 2.9 million rupees. Farmers were also encouraged to use local rat traps, such as white tang and tang chip.
In 1998, we had started the buying of rat's tail, 1 rupee, 1 tail.
Then our department allowed to purchase the rat tail at the rate of rupees 2 per piece. Then a huge number of rat tail, dried rat tail was collected and burned down in every district headquarters. Our main aim was to protect the crop from the damage of the rodents. So Baiting was done in almost every part of the Mizoram. Then fencing with the help of bamboo splits was done. Then the villagers was encouraged to go for this trapping of the rodent with the traditional rat trap called Vai Thang, Thang Chep, then Mangkhong. They kill with help of that also.
ทิ้งกลางหูขานมาว่าตามโดนตีกันเสียอาชันจุมาว่าระวกะอาระวกุมจวนินโลนี่กันจากโลนี่ทิ้งกลางโลนี่ปอยน์โลนี่ไอ้ขัดยังอีจงตานปกขานใครอมเจียในจวงระวังสะจุนเสเลวกันกันเตียสะจุขานินอาเสเลกันระวังอินทมากันละดูโลนี่บุรามาอินอปาร์ติระจังปกขานให้บุอารนิเซียมตอนจันติโมเฮติอังจังขานินอาราจูรซงข้าอารอนฟิกากูงจังอับุลตันโรดซุมฟิกาที่ขันโรฟิกาอมเสียอมเมียลวะที่ขันอันโรซ้ำเดระจู่ตุนสมสังหิเลปัสริปอขันทิ้งกลางอาโลนี่อัตมจอกินอาจาเว150 point นี่ดูโลกกันตั้มนี่
The government launched the bamboo flowering and famine control schemes to combat the Mautam of 2007.
Bamboo flowering and famine combat scheme. I call it BAFACOS. For this, my government made a lot of preparation, and I got crores and crores of rupees sanctions from the government of India. One is construction of some road here. I call it the bamboo road. The others are, for example, since there is going to be a great increase of the rodents and rats, we have to find, let us say, another alternative crop which the rats will not eat.
Another peculiar study showed that one of the only crops that the rats never attacked was the turmeric. And 100,000 quintals of turmeric rhizomes were distributed to the farmers free of cost.
In this, especially when this Mautam happens in 2007, we have chosen one item which is not supposed to be attacked by the rats. So that is turmeric. So with the help of government, we have distributed turmeric to all Mizoram states, and we have imported more than 15 crores of rupees from outside the states, the seeds of turmeric. So we distributed to all the farmers.
With the help of the government of India, we could distribute a rice freely to the BPLP, below poverty line people.
However, none of this prevented any of the Mautams to eventually occur, but did lessen the adverse effects of the famine.
Cultivating another species to substitute Melakana to avoid Mautam, it will not do, because Melakana and Mizoram, they go together, something like that. The climate conditions are good for Melakana. So whether there is Mautam or no Mautam, rodents may finish it up, maybe, but Melakana will grow again. So you cannot substitute Melakana to avoid Mautam, because it will spoil the ecology. Like I don't want people to bring in exotic plant species and plant it all over Mizoram. It will spoil the beauty, it will spoil the climate, it will spoil the ecological balance of Mizoram.
Mautam, which has just left us, is we think that there are no such people who have died due to that Mautam. Back in the year 1959, like that, many people have died due to hunger, starvation and all. But this time, with the initiative taken by the government and some NGOs, we are able to survive without the loss of farmers' life.
So even if another Mautam comes into being, Mizoram will be prepared. And on the other hand, we are trying to be the most developed and the most advanced state in India. And I believe that if things goes well, within 10 years or 20 years or so, when another Mautam famine comes into being, this will not no more disturb us. Well, as I have said, as far as Mautam, this bamboo flowering is concerned, it will no more have much effect in future, because as I have said, it will have to happen after 50 years. Yeah. By then development and all the preparation will be there, and there will be no more much problem. I hope so.
Production and consumption, demand and supply, birth and death. Mankind is quite like the rats in the Mautam, with overproduction leading to overpopulation, leading to excessive demand on natural resources, finally leading to self-destruction. Is Mautam just a freak occurrence? Or is it a metaphor for everyday occurrences happening to every human being in the world? Man has forever been at the peak of the order when it comes to the food cycle. We like, so we eat. We are rarely at the bottom of the pyramid, left to scrounge for food. Yet, that is exactly what happens in a bizarre, yet perfectly natural turn of events in Mizoram once every 48 years.